15 minutes to research. Talk quietly, all right? So the others don't get your ideas, right? And then they won't interfere with your tactics to start with. After this time is over, then we will have the 3 speakers, one after the other from both teams. We will have the first speaker from the positive team, and then we'll have the first speaker for the negative team, and a minute between them. 3 speakers from each team, right? You will have 90 seconds to prepare a feedback for the performance of the other team. What they did well, what they can do better next time they debate, okay? And then another 90 seconds to actually do the feedback, to talk about this. After these 90 seconds for both teams, for the affirmative and the negative, the winner will be announced.
The topic of our debate is uniforms should be required for students in all schools. We, the affirmative team, believe that this statement is true. Today, as first speaker, I will be talking about uniforms and equality, uniforms and studies, uniform and discipline, safety, and friendship. Now, uniforms create a sense of equality among students in schools. For example, when they dress the same, they are not able to show off. And this prevents envy and jealousy. Now, because of this creates a greater space to focus on their studies, and this helps them in academics in school. It also promotes others within the school order, within the school hierarchy. It promotes discipline, which is essential in school. Using uniforms, students won't be able to show off, and safety will be provided. Now, friendship is again related to bullying and safety and discipline. When there's discipline, there's friendship, because they're not able to be rude or anything. Now, this is important everywhere in the world, and uniforms are essential for everyday life in school.
We think that that students cannot express their personality since they have to wear the uniform every day. And also another disadvantage is that uniforms are quite expensive, and not everybody can afford money to buy uniforms. And the uniform could also cause outside bullying, because other children, bullies that go to a public school, think that the children that go to a private school must have a better life, and they feel kind of bad. And also the confidence is decreased because the students' right to pick the clothes themselves and choose what they want to wear is taken away, since they all have to wear the same thing. And this can disrupt the ability to develop skills, so they can choose their clothes. And also the uniform, which is made from a specific material, could have someone could have an allergy to this material, and that means that they cannot wear the uniform.
Ready to prepare your answer?
And our topic, as we already said, is uniforms should be required for students in all schools, and we're supporting this claim. So, and I'll explain further why. So, as our first speaker already explained, uniforms are important because this improves the environment of equality. When you dress the same, you don't show off, and also this prevents envy and jealousy. Now, I'll first start with the points of your first speaker. So, your first speaker tried to convince you that uniforms are not good because in this way they're kind of boring. You may say that they're boring, but actually many schools have encouraged some diversity and some although you have the school uniform. For example, let's take our school uniform, because And that's a good example. So you see that not everyone is wearing the full school uniform. You find your way to improve it and to make it unique for yourself, to show your personality. Although you're wearing, you know, the BSS t-shirt, you're still wearing some earrings, some necklaces. So again, you show your personality without, you know, dressing up yourself with brands and, you know, fashionable clothes all the time. Also, this keeps students focused on their education and not their clothes, and this is shown by actually researchers from the National Center of Education. They showed that according to 2013 to a 2013 study, yes, in this year, the students, they observed that students who have school uniforms in their school are actually they experience an increased academic focus, and yes, they're actually more attentive at school because they don't concentrate that much on the clothes. They concentrate more on their studies. So in the morning, how long does it take you to put on your school uniform? You don't think about the clothes that you want to put on. You just iron your yellow t-shirt, you put it on, you put your trousers, and then you go to school. And what could have that been if, for example, you had to dress up every day and, you know, try to look your best every day and try to change clothes all the time and look different because you want to, you know, to be outstanding in this age? Yes. Some students could develop allergies from the school uniforms, but this is wrong because allergies are circumstantial and they're very exceptional. Not all of the students developed allergies from this, and I'm pretty sure that the school will find a way to prevent, you know, this student to develop further the allergy and suffer from the school uniform. To work in a business and in a company, and you will be forced to wear your shirt, your suit. So the school in fact teaches you discipline and teaches you that you belong somewhere, and when you wear something like a school uniform, you actually show that you belong somewhere and you should be proud of it.
Our group thinks that with the allergies of the school uniforms, the teachers are looking more on the studies and not the school uniforms. Like, I think they won't change the school uniforms matter if they see that, like, they focus on more about studies. And when the first member of the group came in, they said that it can prevent school bullying, but I don't think so. And it doesn't allow individuality. Like, some clothes, if I wear clothes with I don't know, a movie on it, a game on it, it can make friends. Like, you like it, I like it, be friends, speak about it. Yeah, it helps making friends. It can't allow to go to a school where are uniforms, because uniforms can cost a lot, really a lot, and normally the school costs a lot, but uniforms adds an additional cost.
I'm Angeliki, and I'm with the affirmative team, and I'll be the last speaker, and we strongly believe that uniforms should be required for students in all schools. So I'd like to start with some rebuttals from the negative team. I'd like to first rebuttal something that the second speaker said. So buying clothes every single day, new clothes, so in order to have different clothes to wear every single day in school, if you don't have school uniform, costs more than just to buy school uniform that one time in order to be used like the entire year. So at the end of the day, if you don't have school uniform, it ends up being more expensive than having uniform. Also, the first speaker said that it decreases a person's confidence, and I actually believe that school uniform increases a person's confidence, as there's less peer pressure around because you're all wearing different things, and even though you don't have the opportunity to express yourself, if you express yourself in a wrong way or someone else views it in, you know, a different way, there's a misunderstanding, then that decreases the confidence of a person. As well as for allergies, that's really rare, you know, a person to have an allergy. Of course, it can happen, but it's not common at all, so it's just a rare situation and it's circumstantial, and if it happens, then there's a way to resolve that situation. I also want to rebuttal that bullying in general. You said that last year there was bullying in the school and that didn't yeah, that didn't stop till the people that were actually bullying left the school. I don't understand how that has any much to do about the whole uniform. As well as I'd like to conclude all our points. So school uniform helps people focus more on their school studies. So because they look down and they see that they're wearing uniform, it reminds them how they're in school. They should behave. They should focus on their studies. As we said, it improves discipline. It improves friendships, could possibly. It decreases peer pressure, as I said. And in general, it just keeps students focused on their education. So I think in general, it's the best thing a school could do actually to have discipline and make sure everything is in order is to have school uniform, because it also sets an identity for the person. And as we said, I think a big point that we should make is that in the morning, if you're in a school that there's no school uniform, it's going to take you a much bigger amount of time to figure out what you want to wear each day than to just have your uniform and you're set out for the entire week. So that also is less waste of time for you in the morning. Thank you.
And a minute for...
But who said that you should buy new clothes every day? What we said was just an example. And about the allergies, one person is enough for the material to be changed. And if the material is changed, this will be bad for the school, because money will go away from the school. So this is already a problem for the school. And the uniforms might not look good on every student, and this can lead to bullying. If students feel uncomfortable in their uniforms, they can't really focus on their studies. As the second speaker of the other team said, students in the future will again be forced to wear uniforms in their work. So we think that maybe some years without being forced to wearing uniforms will give a taste of freedom.
Both teams, well done. What they did well and what they need to focus on to be better next time.
For example, for the first speaker, I would recommend you to, not to rely that much on your notes. You can give us everyday examples as just as you did. For example, it's way more relieving because you're not so stressed about messing up something. For your second speaker, yes. Well, it was overall good again, but again, you could improve your eye contact and maybe, not read that much from your notes. Yeah, I mean, you did a great job, but just improve your eye contact.
You use strong words. We liked all of your speakers had eye contact and look. Yeah, it was overall very good.
This round goes to the affirmative team.
I was sure.
Congratulations, well done. Congratulate each other because I think it's your...
You may use any books or devices you find helpful. Each of you will speak up to 4 minutes.
I am the first speaker from the negative team, and we think that democracy is more important than development. Without democracy, there is not much of a development, because in a country which is not a democratic country, it's harder for this country to develop. So, for example, in a country with a dictator or a king, where they control they control all the country, and the people don't have human rights, they don't have the right to say their opinion, then that's not gonna help them to develop the country. When everybody is not to develop, everybody has to be involved, and also people have to say their opinion, so they can help the country, because everybody is important for the country. In a democratic country, everybody has to be equal, and that way it's easier to develop. If the country is not a democratic country, then people cannot debate, because when you debate, people say their opinion, and their opinions, and they agree, they argue. And also, if the country is not a democratic, then they cannot argue, they cannot say their opinion.
Development is actually important because it strengthens people's skills. It also strengthens the mind. Even in human beings, we've been developing over millions of years. Since the beginning, we've developed not only in knowledge, but also in our appearance. Development may change a whole country. It could make it wealthier and more prosperous. And it could improve the lifestyle, the food, the economy, and plenty of stuff could actually happen to that country and make it even better. Not all countries are developed as others. To have a good democracy, you need a well-evolved country. Because if everyone is just not developed like in other countries, well then to rule it, well then it would be more difficult.
So for a conclusion or a summary of what Speaker 1 and Speaker 2 said, when it comes to economic development, these fundamental rights are more important than other purely political aspects of democracy. It is also very important because it improves people's skills and mind. Research shown that in some countries, in a lot of countries, actually development is much more needed than democracy, which means it's. Let's also not forget, as Speaker 2 said, to have a good democracy, you need a very well developed country.
We think that democracy in general is much more important than the development. Also, democracy is very important because it states that everybody is equal in the country. And who would like to live in a country which is developed and like advanced, but there is no democracy being applied? And being a democratic country means that you have human rights. You are able to express your opinion, to have like a great education, to be as important as everybody else in the country. And also, human rights also help a lot in the democracy and the development of the country. And also, if you don't have human rights, then like you also don't have that much food and water and stuff, because that also is considered as human rights.
Strong words, but you could have supported your speeches with less opinions and more proven evidence, because you didn't support all of your answers with evidence.
You did very well, and that you had good points and good information, but we felt as if you didn't know how to explain it, like in a more descriptive manner. Also, don't talk too fast, because then it could become a bit incomprehensible. And take time to breathe, because there's no hurry. It's not that there's a fire. More examples would also be welcome, because we feel as if you didn't put enough examples, and yeah, you could have added a bit more opinions too. More expression into what you're saying and more evidence on your points.
Really well, and you have eye contact, body language, and all. You were good. You're amazing.
Huge range of topics and ideas, so it was really obvious you all put in the work and had great teamwork.
Overall, you were awesome and you did great. You had good arguments and you were able to support it with good examples. You also had a good structure and everything was good. Maybe the first and the third speaker could have a bit more eye contact, but otherwise it was really good.
This round goes to Dragons.
Get it too! Oh, I love you. I love you too.